Jackpot. I knew I'd find it. Trying to hide it on me. Nice try, James. Gonna get me some Advantech X Factor. Go Beyond. That's gonna make a perfect base for this garden. What am I making?
Hey.
Yeah.
You started without me.
Yeah. I had to get going. I don't have banker's hours. I got construction hours. I know it's a weekend. You work hard all week. You like to sleep in a little bit, but I thought I'd get going. Plus, I knew that it's gonna. You'll see from the clips. It took me a little while. I'm still kind of figuring it out, just because I don't really know what I'm doing. So
you've never built a greenhouse before?
No. I didn't want you to be just standing out here, twiddling your thumbs. So I figured I'd kind of get going. So.
Okay.
You want to know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
We are back at our homestead.
Yes.
And we are doing another project. And I am so glad that it's outside, because I am sick and tired of being inside with those cabinets. I was over it. Mm-hmm. But they look fantastic. You love them?
Yes.
Okay.
Love them.
I love them. All right. So what are we doing next?
Greenhouse.
Greenhouse. So let's look at Nana's current greenhouse that we have on our deck. Let's check it out. Yeah, this is it. Actually, she cleaned it up already, and she had, I wish she would have kept it on there, she had plastic that she got from Lowe's that they used to wrap pallets with. She took some of that because they were throwing it away, and she had that wrapped over this thing, plastic. It did not look good. So we are going to upgrade Nana's greenhouse, and we are going to make her a big girl greenhouse. Okay, so one of the first things that we need to do is that we want the structure to look the same as the house, from the road and stuff. So we want the pitch of the roof to be the same as the pitch on the greenhouse. So I need to figure out what pitch that roof is so that the angle of the roofs are the same. So I need someone to film me. Where the heck is Stephanie at? Steph!
Hey, I'm up here.
What are you doing up there?
I'm getting the shot, man. Isn't that what you guys say?
Dude.
I got the shot.
Steph is getting a freaking shot from the roof. All right, so we're going to show you how to get the pitch of this roof without knowing what the pitch actually is. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a couple things. We're going to get a big level, and we're going to get our big 12. You got the shot up there, Alice?
I
All right, here we go. So all we're going to do, it's very simple. It's kind of a pro trick. Probably not, because everybody probably knows it, but to me it's a pro trick. So we are going to take our big level, and we are just going to make a level line on the fascia, like that. Got that line right there, Ella? See that?
Yep.
And then we're going to take our big 12, and we are going to make this bottom point our pivot. And we're going to make that bottom point our pivot point. And then we're just going to look over here and see if you can see that. If you can kind of zoom out there and see right here. See that 3? That's my common 3. That means that this roof is a 3/12 pitch. Do you know what that means?
Nope.
That means for every 12 inches of run, there's 3 inches of rise. So for every foot, it goes up 3 inches. Or for every foot, it goes down 3 inches. And that's the pitch. So when we do our greenhouse, we need to make sure that we make everything on a 3/12 so that everything looks the same as this roof.
Sounds simple enough.
I just totally sounded like I knew what I was talking about.
You do.
Are you impressed?
I am. Okay. Very.
Please don't fall off the roof. Come on, let's get in the garage and get building this thing. You know what? We haven't really even talked about how we're building this thing.
Well, I figured you had it all planned out.
I mean, I know how I'm going to build it. I mean, you see the massive plan I got there. I mean, look at that thing. Look at those plans.
Wow.
It's all right here. But let's tell the viewers exactly what we're building. We are building a greenhouse, and it's going to have a shed roof like the pole barn, okay? Mm-hmm. It's going to be higher in the back and lower in the front. So if any water hits it, it'll run off the front of it and not down the back of the house. It's also going to have a storm door in it, a real door, operating door that I'm going to get from Lowe's that has a screen that can go up and down. So if she needs to get a little bit of air, she can get in there. It's going to have these plastic panels. This is what's going to be the sides. These panels here. They say they're made for greenhouse. So all the layouts kind of laid out so this works on it. It's going to be about 7 foot wide and about 7 foot wide and 3 foot deep. And I'm going to run some power to it also, so it's going to have electric so she can plug a heater in if she needs. Also, I'm going to have another outlet up top so she can put a light in if she needs. Okay? So that's what we're building. I think
Well,
it's going to be
did you
awesome.
guys figure out how to seal it at the top with the panels?
Yeah, dude, look at these things. They come with this cool foam. They also make them in wood, but this was way cheaper. This is like 5 different pieces. So what this does is that anywhere air can get in, this little thing goes in there, whoop, and holds it.
Okay.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so I wish I knew how to read my square. So I have to take my 3 common, my pitch, the pitch on the roof, the 312, and I have to make that now into degrees. So now I can cut it on my chop saw. So for some reason I did 10 before. I don't know why, but I did. So I need to do 15. So the ends of my studs on the sides will be a 15 degree bevel, and also the top plate that I have that will go on top also needs that 15 degree angle on it, so that way everything runs up in plane, so nothing sticks out and everything has the right angle on it. That way when I go to put my plastic on it, everything runs the right way. So pro tip number 1, learn how to read, and then you'll know what degree you need. And I just transfer that to my chop saw, and I just cut my bevels, angles, whatever you call them. I don't know. Some of you at this point are probably screaming at the TV going, it's not 15, it's not 15. So, and taking out my big 12 here, which is just the square on a bigger scale there, if I go to 3 on the common there, it's actually more like 14 degrees, not 15 degrees. So I'll just cut these at 14 degrees and then I'll put them back in. Not a big deal. So you learn something new every day. So I think this is the side panel. After a few modifications and making sure that it's the length I want, I think this is what we're going to do. So we just need to duplicate this one on the other.
Duplicate?
Yeah, something like that. Duplicate this one on the other side. And in finding the length of these studs, I'm sure there's some type of maths you can do to figure that length out. But all I did is I got my first one in the length I wanted, right? And I know that my pitch is right, my angle is right here. So then all I did was I measured here the width between this and this stud, 8 1/8, and then I just made a mark over here. Now, the one thing that you have to understand is that you cannot just go down the line like this because it's on an angle. So what you need to do is you need to go perpendicular to your stud until you get to 8 1/8, and then you make your mark there and then set ahead. And that's going to put this on the same layout as down there without knowing what the layout is. Same thing I measured over there. Again, I go perpendicular here until I get to my board where my number is. I make a mark and then I just measure my length. And that's the easiest way to do it. And then I know that these are on layout and everything's going to be square.
I think you were listening in math class when you were younger.
No, that's Eric and Jamie class.
Oh.
Got your ears in?
No, I left them downstairs.
Those $500 AirPods I bought you, just leave them downstairs?
Well, they're still in my bag from my trip. Okay, I can, yeah, thank you.
Goggles. And you can use these. These are my old Elgins. Just stick those in your ears.
Okay.
Safety first. Where's my saw?
Right there.
That's not a saw.
Right there.
This is a saw. So I know I'm building 2 of these, right? And as you can see, that bottom plate stuff, I already have it laid out because I just matched the other one because I knew what I needed there. So now the top plate, I have it all where it needs to go. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my top plate that I have cut over length. I'm just going to match it to this one like that. And then I'm just going to transfer these numbers it's probably a better way to do that. Probably this way on my 312. Yeah, like that. And just make sure I'm marking the right side. That goes at the end. Yeah. Now this is my layout for my next one, and I don't need to worry about figuring it out. And I've already made a note of all my stud lengths, so I'll just cut all of those the same length, and be good to go.
Hey, there's 2 of them.
Yep, and you know what?
What?
They're identical. Did you just say ute?
No, I said youths.
Oh. You said, where are the youths? I'm sorry, I thought you said ute.
All right, so what's next?
Okay, so I know I'm doing a lot of talking, but I'm trying to explain what I'm doing here. So I want everything to be in plane. Okay, so that way when the plastic goes on, I don't have any like huge voids I need to fill. Like if I made the rafters longer and made them stick out, I would have void where air can get in there. So I'm making everything flush. So the plastic is just gonna run up the sides and it's just gonna run up the back. And then we'll use those cool white things I showed you to fill any voids that we need to. So this is the side and this is the plane of the top of the structure. Now I need rafters to go on, okay, on the back and on the front. So I talked to Arlo, the man, the myth, the legend, and he came up with a great idea that I'll use this for each side, and then my rafters in the middle, they have to be like this, right? So all I'm gonna do is I'm going to make my studs 3 inches shorter in the middle, and then run my rafters on top like that. So I think that'll work. So I'll have a bottom plate, I'll have a top plate, and then I'll have this sitting on top of that, and it will be in the same plane as my side walls, and everything will plane out. Pretty plain and simple. Oh my gosh, that was such a Jamie joke. I can't even believe I went there. Wow! I mean P-L-A-I-N and then P-L-A-N-E.
Yeah.
See how it's working there?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So I've already, because of the length of my plastic, is I need to make sure that it breaks on a certain point. So I don't want it to end on an upward, like the big part. I want it to end on the lower part of the valley so I can screw it down. So I've already predetermined that my width of the front and the back are going to be 84 3/8. So I'm laying this out again. I'm laying it out so that my panels land where I want them to land on the studs. I don't care what the width of my studs are. I could care less. I just need to make sure that the plastic, the corrugated polygranulated something, I don't even know what it's called, lands on my studs. So it says in the manual or on the thing about these panels that they can span 24 inches. So they can go from stud to stud. But I feel like that's going to be awful floppy. In the center. I just feel like it's going to just kind of flop around. So I bought enough studs where I'm going to put a stud in between each one, just so that I make sure that it's mo better.
Mo better? Has sturdability?
Sturdability, yep. Planes out, plain and simple.
All the things.
All the things. Well, that's my new t-shirt. Well, it's just going to say, well. That's our new t-shirt. And that's, I don't know if Andy Reid watches the show. That's where it came from. I love Andy. He used to work with us, but he says that every time he talks. He goes, well. And now we always say it. So now it's the new shirt. Well. W-E-L-P. Well. Oh. Found your phone.
Oh, thanks. Finally.
Bye, Dusty. So I have my apprentice. I got my top plate cut as well. So again, we're going to need to transfer those lines over, okay? So all I do, and all Eric does, is what I do is I put my pencil, and I put my pencil right on the line that I'm going to transfer. So hold that there, Steph. And then you take your square and just put your square up until it hits your pencil. And then you know it's good. You might want to switch hands there. And then you just make your mark all the way through.
That's my left hand, though.
Well, here, just, you know what I got now. So you do it now. You show me how you would do it now.
Okay, so.
So hold your.
Genius. So here and here?
No, that's the center. Remember, I just need the left and the right marks. So I just need that one and that one. So just put your pencil where, there it is. And then you just go. And that way you don't have to think. You don't have to try to eyeball it up with your, just put your pencil on your line. Put your square to it. Make sure your square's squared up against the back there. It don't have to be perfect. There you go. It's just, and then we'll make an X in the middle. And that means X marks the spot where the stud goes. Great job. All right, so knock those out. I'm going to get the table saw set up because we're going to have to put a bevel on that top plate because, again, it has to be in plane with everything else. So if we just put it straight, there's going to be a void, and we don't want that.
Okay.
Your eyes are pretty blue today. Wow, and big. Until this point, I've just been screwing it together because if anything was a mistake, I could take it apart easily, like I had to when I was doing those sidewalls. But I think we've pretty much committed. I think we're building it the way we're building it. I don't think there's any turning back now. So instead of screwing it now for a little bit more stability and less money, I'm going to shoot it with some 16 penny nails with my Dewalt brushless. It's actually Ray's. Mine's broken, so I stole Ray's. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. So I'm going to shoot this off. And then once we get this shot off, we can then transfer the top and bottom plate again. So that way we can have them for the front. But now the front, we will have to put a door in it. So I will have to lay out for the door because we need an RO rough opening for the door that we're going to put in. So let's get this thing shot off and then you can go ahead and transfer these lines. I think the main reason why I'm such a good worker at Perkins, I mean, I think I am anyways, is that I'm really good at following directions. Somebody says, do this, I do it. I'm not always the guy that comes up with the ideas to do. And there's probably a reason why. All right, so I just realized that when I laid all this out in my mind and on some paper with the size I had up there, I meant for it to be this wide. Good. Problem is that I forgot about the outside walls are going to go on the outside of this structure. So that means it's going to be an extra 7 inches wider, which is great. Wider's better, but if it fits, if it fits, therein lies the problem. So we're going to go up and take a little measurement up there, and I think it's going to fit. I don't think it's going to stick out past the house. I think it's going to be fine. It actually makes it a little bit bigger, so I think it's going to work out all right. But hey, I'm starving. I haven't had lunch. We got to play with some puppy. We got some puppy time.
Ooh, puppy time.
And I also have to figure out, because we got to put a door in the front here, that storm door. I don't have it yet because they didn't have it in stock at Lowe's, so I'm going to get online, find the one I want, and I need to go in and look at the specs on it to find out what my RO is. Remember what that was from the fireplace?
Rough opening.
Rough opening. She does pay attention to me a little bit. So we need to figure out what our RO is because we got to build that thing perfect for that storm door to fit in. Because it's not going to have any, I can't shim it or anything like that. It's just got to pop in there. So let's go figure out those measurements and grab some lunch and play with Charlie. Yes, we got another dog. That makes 4. I don't know what I was thinking. Why don't you bend down a little bit? Get closer to me. There we go. I'm stuffed. I feel like taking a nap. But anyways. Alright, so I went on to Lowe's.com and I got some measurements for our RO rough opening for this door. I'm going to do a 32-inch door. I don't need a 36 because it don't need to be that big. So I'm going to do a smaller door, 32. And that will leave enough room on the side for shelves, which we're also going to put in. We'll talk about those later. But I want the door to be centered. So this is my bottom plate, which measures 84 3/8. So half of 84 3/8 is
42 3/16.
So I'm going to go 42 3/16. That is going to be center, right? Now, from there, I want an RO of, it said anywhere from 31 7/8 to 32. So I'll just go like 32 short. So half of 32 is what? 16. 16.
16.
So what I'll do is I'll just put my tape on 16 like that on my center mark. If I can balance it. And I'll make a mark there. And I'll make a mark there. And that will be my RO for my door. Now, just to double check your maths, what you can just do is go from your end here to that point. I got 26 and like an eighth. And if I go this way, I got 26 and an eighth. So my maths are right. My door is centered. I got my rough opening. So we'll just make that the door, and it says a rough opening of 81. So we'll do 81 jacks. So a jacks is the side of the door opening with a header on top. That'll be the RO, and then we'll frame up the rest just like a regular wall, and it should be good to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Get me, he says.
Get me. So I just realized that from the prior, remember I dropped that back of that wall down like 4 inches or so because I needed the plastic to go all the way to the top, or the corrugated sheet, whatever it is. So that means that dropped the back down, which dropped the front down, which means I just got lucky because remember I'm cutting these at 80 3/4, and my RO for my door is 80 to 81. So I really don't have any jacks anyways. The opening of the front is going to be the opening of the door. And I think it's going to be all right. I mean, there's no weight. I don't need a header. I mean, it's just this plastic on there. It's not like it's going to have a bunch of weight on it to hold up a roof. And then what's going to happen is, so this rafter, remember, is going to sit like this on top of it. And it's going to be flush with the front. So the plastic, I'll have it overhang maybe 4 inches or so just to keep water from going down the top of the door. So I think it actually will work out pretty well because it won't allow water to get into the door there. I'm going to Lexel it and seal it up anyways, but I'll have a little overhang just to keep the water dripping down the front. So I think it'll be all right. So I actually didn't even need to cut those at 81. But I did. And I didn't need to. All right, that's enough talking. Let's get to building this thing. You are probably thinking I should have a corner here, which I should. I should have another 2x4 on edge here to be able to shoot this and screw this to. But you know what? It's not needed for this application, let's call it. It's just a little greenhouse, and that's just extra lumber that I don't need to use. I was thinking about doing, but you know what? I'm just facing it from here into this board to tie it together. And then what's going to happen too is I have that Advantech that I took from Jamie's. I'm going to make that the floor. So we're going to lay this on its end, and we're going to put that Advantech underneath it, and it's going to tie all the 4 walls together, so they're not going to go anywhere. And then the plastic's going to hold everything together just like a piece of sheet good would on a regular house. So structurally, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think it'll be fine. So that's why there's no corner, because I'm cheap.
Hey, so are you sure this thing is square?
No. And I'll bet my life on it that it's not. Because we've been moving it around and jiggling it and wiggling it and doing everything to it. Mm-hmm. So we need to make sure it's square.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Level. A square.
A square would work, but not as good as the way we're going to do it. What we're going to do is we're going to take 2 measurements. We're both going to get tape measure.
Okay.
We're going to hook on this corner. I'm going to hook on this corner. And you're going to hook on that other bottom corner. We're just going to pull diagonals to here.
Okay.
And if we pull the same number,
it's square.
You are like this.
I'm sharp.
You are the sharpest tool in the shed for sure. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So here's your tape measure. Let's do that, and let's make sure this thing is square. All right. So what did you have?
I don't remember.
97 and 5/8.
5/8.
I have 97 and 5/8.
Wow. And you didn't think it would be square.
Dude, how in the world is that thing square?
Lucky.
Wow, I'm seriously super impressed by you.
By me. By you.
All right, so top number, 91 3/8. Bottom number, 91 3/8. Dude, something's got to be wrong.
I mean,
91 3/8 by 34. We're gonna cut our Advantech, stick it in there, nail it all off, and then yeah.
wait to figure out what's actually wrong?
Yeah, and then we gotta do the top rafters after that.
Okay.
I'm just full of pro tips today. I got another pro tip here for you. If you ever cut in a straight line and your fence is hanging off the piece of material, what you can do is you can pinch your fence. It's not the fence, your plate. The plate. Real hard here. And then just run your finger along that. Now, just make sure you don't get any splinters, but if you hold it real tight like that, it should cut a straight line the whole way down. Efficiency. Oh, man, my... Still on a bevel. Pro tip Saturday. I got another pro tip for you. All right, so here again, my material is a little bit high, so I need it to go down. So I need to suck it down. So I can do that with a screw, but the biggest thing is that if I have it tight like that and I try to suck it down, it's never going to work. So what you need to do, Steph, if you want to get in a little bit closer, is I got to get a little bit of separation between my two pieces of material, and then when I hit the wood there, watch this. Genius.
Genius. Hey, don't move.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the shot.
Okay.
No, you ruined the shot.
Why are you back there?
That's what you did to Jamie to get the shot.
Oh, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. Now I knows how he felt.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a little violation there.
Yeah. Okay, back to work. I need to get the shot. Rafters.
Rafters. Only one problem with the rafters is that, I don't know, my math must have lied to me. Because for some reason it's high in the front. I don't know why. But you know what? I don't care. Because you know what? The pitch is going to be so perfect that it's going to look great. So this rafter being a little bit short, I don't think it's going to matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. Woo! And I'm just going to plane off there to nothing.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, it's going to be like 2 seconds.
Looks good.
Yeah, does it?
I'm guessing I should just get a broom and get to work.
Well, actually, I think that's all the time we have for today. It's crazy. Now that I got Steph on the camera, I have so much footage. This video that I have right now, I cut down from over an hour long. Actually, I think it was like an hour and 20 minutes long. I cut it down to just this, and I still have so much more. So I either have to stop talking as much, which you'll probably all love, or I have to get the camera out of Stephanie's hands. One of the two. So that's it for today. So please check out some future videos on this build. We're going to put some shelves in. We're going to put some panels on. We're going to put some doors in. We're going to put some electric in. And I think it's going to turn out great, and Anna's going to love it. So again, everybody, I appreciate you guys watching. I really do. I thank you so much for all the subscriptions, all the thanks, all the likes, all the comments, and just all the support. I couldn't do it without you guys. So I love y'all. And like we say, we'll catch you on the next one.